Okay, dear friends, we are starting chapter 4. There's a lot going on. Yeah, Perek Dalet of Megillah. So where are we right now? So a decree has gone out. It's been spread around the nations that some big catastrophe is going to hit the world. And it wasn't exactly sure who or when it was going to happen. Well, we actually knew when, but they didn't specify, according to most opinions, precisely who was going to be the victims over here. However, it tells us, or Mordechai yada. Mordechai knew what was going on. Mordechai yada. Mordechai knew what the decree of Achashverosh and Haman was, which was obviously to destroy all the Jewish people in just under a year's time. Just under a year's time. How do you know? The Gemara asks how he knew. So there's two possibilities. Rashi, interestingly, Rashi says he knew because Eliyahu Navi came to him in a dream, which is a bit of a stretch. But that's the only way he could have known. There was no way he could have known besides that. Eliyahu came in a dream to him and revealed the plan that was up against the Jews. Two, however, which is Yosef Lekash and other commentators say, he figured it out. Mordechai figured it out because he was privy to information that no one else had. How was Mordechai privy to information that nobody else had? He was in Shushan Habira, right? He was in Shushan Habira. He knew, and he had an inside information working in the capital of Ir Shushan, which is called Shushan Habira. So he knew something was up, and he figured it out. And his response is going to be really, really dramatic. And we have to find out why. So this is the Mordechai Yada. Rashi, Eliyahu came to him in a dream, revealed it to him. The Gemara goes with that too. Until he figured it out. He's in Shushan Habira. He knows what's going on. He saw Haman coming in and out. Money, offers, it's overheard. The decree has been written down. It's been sent out. So he was privy to that information, but not everyone was. Look at what he does. And here we see another mention of clothing in the Megillah. Remember the theme of clothing, of covering, is a theme. Please, phones away. So we can look inside. It says, Vayikra Mordechai Begadav. He rips his clothing. Vayilbash sak va'efer. And he put on sack, in English a sack, and efer. And he put on ashes on himself. Wow. So Mordechai's reaction is rather unusual. Right? He goes and he puts on sackcloth and ashes. After ripping his clothes. So he rips his clothing, he puts on sackcloth and ashes, and he goes out, B'soicha Ir, into the middle of the city. What city are we talking about? Shushan. Ir is Shushan. You have Shushan Habira. Ir means Shushan. V'yizak za'aka gadol mara. And he starts to scream. He puts on, very dramatic. I mentioned the chief rabbi of Israel, whoever, right, of your community, goes out, rips his clothes, puts on sackcloth and ashes, and starts to scream in public square, middle of Times Square. What would you think?
It's crazy.
Something bad has just happened. We're in big, big trouble. Okay? We're in big, big trouble. It's a very dramatic thing. He's putting on sackcloth. What is this ripping of clothing reminiscent of? Mourning. What is sackcloth and ashes reminiscent of? Right, what do we do? Chorbanis, what are we doing? Teshuvah. These are the requirements of mourning and to arouse people to do teshuvah. It's a repentance thing. So his reaction is not to go and start knocking on Jewish people's doors saying, run quickly, you're in big trouble. He's like, we need divine assistance at this point. So he's going to have a 2, maybe 3-point plan. Point 1 is, we got to pray. We got to turn to God because we're in big, big trouble over here. Something bad is about to happen. I know the information. Point 1, scream out to Hashem, let's do teshuvah. Something really bad has happened. Just for interest, where else do we see in the Torah someone, za'aka gadol mara, a cry out loud? I know you know, Gila. A cry out loud. Let everyone think for a second. Who screamed out loud and bitterly when something happened in the Torah? As a person. I remember something happened, something was taken from him, and he cried out, screaming bitterly.
Oh, like the idols?
A person, there was an individual who something was taken from him, and he really got upset and screamed out.
Is it Yaakov?
Close.
Joseph?
It was Esav. It was Esav. So really Mordechai here is like Yaakov. Esav, the ancestor of Amalek, right? Because Amalek comes from Esav, screamed out in prayer, and he's like, I'm going to combat your scream and prayer with my scream and prayer. Prayers can beat prayers. Yeah? They pray for something bad, we pray for something good to turn it around. So he prayed, and Hashem listens to all tefillah. God listens to all prayers, no matter who makes it. So he's like, I know there was a prayer back then. Maybe that's affecting us now. So I'm going to pray in the same way he did, not like Hannah, quietly, right? In my own way, so no one hears it. He's like, whoa, screaming out to Hashem. Very public display. And when you pray publicly, you know something really, really bad has happened. And then something really weird happens. He then goes right up to the gate of the king. Why does he go and walk to the gate of the king? Meaning, he's now transferred himself. He's walking around. He's gone to Shar HaMelech, the Melech. He's gone to the gate of the king. Why does he do that? Because he can't get in. Why does he only go to the gate and not go inside Shushan Habira, where all the action is taking place? Because he's not allowed in. Because he's wearing sackcloth and ashes. 1 second. He can't get in because he's dressed. Who told him to dress that way? Who told him to dress that way? Who said you have to dress like this? Nobody. It was his own decision. So you know what? Take off the sackcloth and ashes. Then you'll be able to go inside and tell Esther what's going on, or notify the people who need to be notified. He's preventing himself, can you see this, from going in and fixing the problem. Can you see that? It says he's gone until, but he can't go inside. You know what? So you know what? Take off sackcloth and ashes. If there's a law that you can't walk inside dressed like this, then take it off. Why is he doing that? Why does he remain in sackcloth? You made your point, you screamed, and then put in your regular clothing, whatever it is, and go inside. Why has he remained in his clothing? Because this wasn't just a demonstration. He was actually really praying. This was not just it was a sign to people. It was a sign to others, which is why he didn't just stay in his house and do it, but it's also real. He needs people to pray, and he needs to pray himself. It wasn't just a demonstration. He was like, I'm really praying for the people. The leader of the generation has to pray for the people. They're going to be saved, and that's what he's doing. He wasn't just messing around like, okay, fine, demonstration over. He's like, no, I'm not taking this off. We're still in trouble. I'll take off this bad clothing when we're out of trouble, but we're still in trouble. But you can't get in, I understand. But plan A is to save the Jewish people. And the way to do that is to pray. And therefore he stayed in that clothing. Can you see it? Are we following? Okay. But we're going to come to my most favorite part of Megillah soon, which is a lesson, which is like a 3-point speech that Mordechai is about to give, which is so important. And a real life changer for anyone who hears it. Yeah.
I don't get why that's so important to wear that.
he's praying to Hashem.
So why?
He's trying to ask forgiveness. So at this point, he's got to get inside the palace. He says, I'm not taking off the clothes. And by the way, Esther's going to try to persuade him to take the clothes off and go inside wearing regular clothing.
So he can't pray to God without this?
This is more effective. This is teshuvah time.
Asking forgiveness for what?
For what? So there's two possibilities. And that's a very important point. Something has happened. For this decree to come, we assume something has happened. So there's two possibilities. Possibility number one is, we discussed this already, didn't we? If we didn't, I apologize. Number one is, they ate from the feast of Achashverosh. Remember that? Or two, they went because Achashverosh invited them, and they all went and they enjoyed the feast of Achashverosh.
What is this list?
This is the 2 point. What are they doing teshuvah for? He's crying out. Obviously, they did something wrong. He's saying, things don't just happen to us. It's got to be some spiritual breakdown that has allowed this to happen. So what's he making teshuvah for? What's he trying to get people to repent for? So one opinion was that. So why teshuvah? So opinion number one is they ate from the feast of Achashverosh. And number two is, actually before then, they bowed down to an idol of Nebuchadnezzar. That's actually a machloket of Rav Hashum Bar Yochai and his students.
When was that?
This was before. When Nebuchadnezzar was in control, they bowed down, and that's actually the opinion of Rav Hashum Bar Yochai. That's actually a machloket, but most say they ate from the feast of Achashverosh, they went, they integrated, they assimilated, they become part of society, and Hashem's like, whoa. Mordechai's like, I didn't go to the party, you made a mistake going, and this is all from that. So one of these two is the problem. And actually Esther wasn't even so sure herself. You're going to see in a second that she's going to ask Mordechai in a moment, through an intermediary, what did we do wrong to deserve this? So even she wasn't so sure. So hold on to that. We'll see how she's going to word it in a very unusual way. Yeah.
Can you just read number 2 again?
There's a bow down to an idol of Nebuchadnezzar. That scribble is Nebuchadnezzar. Yes. We're building up. We've got a lot to say still. Yeah.
I don't understand why he wouldn't just take it off. Like, I get it, it wasn't just to prove a point, he was genuinely mourning.
He was genuinely mourning. I'm not going to stop, there's no prioritizing. This is it. There is prioritizing. I'll take it back. This is the answer. Now he's going to do something else. He's going to have a plan to save the Jewish people. He's going to use this shtadlut. But he's going to remember, it starts here. That plan B is only going to work if we have plan A. It's not an alternative, it's an addition. So he doesn't want people to think.
Don't get in.
What?
How is he supposed to do that if he can't
You'll
get
see in a second.
So shouldn't he be...
No, he's not, because he's not going to do the plan. He's going to ask Esther to do it.
Yeah, but he can't even get in.
I know.
So what? That's counter... Doesn't make sense.
Hold on to that. Good point. He's going to have someone else do it.
Don't you think that, like, Hashem is aware of, like, his intentions?
Whoa.
Like, he's already trying
Hashem's
to
aware of
pass.
everything.
It's more important-
Hashem is aware of everything, and we still got to do our jobs. You can't, well, God knows what's the point of praying. God knows what's the point of doing anything. Hashem gives us mechanisms. This is Hashem's wake-up call. Wake up, do teshuvah, get the job done, and he's going to be like, I got 2 plans, and we need both in order to succeed. 1, we've got to turn to God. 2, I got a crazy plan, Esther, which, by the way, she's going to reject. He's going to have to really persuade her to take on this plan. So hold on, we're just building this up. Yes.
For one, eating from the Achashverosh's party.
Yeah.
Is that just like the whole assimilating,
Going in there, enjoying a party where all the vessels of the Beit HaMikdash, of the temple were there. It was a mistake. They should not have gone, according to Mordechai. And he felt that was the reason. Okay? I mean, there's a machloket over here. But yeah. Okay, so here we go. So now, he's going to save the Jewish people 2 plans. Plan A, pray. That's always your first plan. By the way, that's the way it always is. Number 1, you pray, right? Just like Yaakov and Esav, remember that? What did he do? Get a 3-point plan. First of all, you pray, then you prepare for retreat, and then you prepare for war. But number 1 is you got to pray, right? You got to give gifts, you pray to Hashem, you got to make a plan of it. Okay. So now he's got to get the information to Esther because he can't get in. Why can't he get in? He's wearing the clothing. Once he's wearing the clothing, he's got to pray. Fine. So how's he going to get the information to her? Okay? How's he going to get the information to her?
I think she just figured out, isn't that why she sent him clothing?
Not yet. We're not there yet.
Oh.
We're not there yet. She doesn't know what's up. She knows something's up. But she hasn't sent him clothing yet.
Oh.
So hold on. Okay? So now, but Tavona Narot Esther, Okay. Once I was we're in verse 3. Wherever this decree reached, right, they knew something was up because of it got out there, and they're realizing we've done something wrong, some bad decree is going to come against us, and everyone started to mourn l'rabim. Some say, who is this Rabbim? Some say it was the Rabbim, the important people, realized something was up. Some people said it was the rabbis who mourned first, and some say no, everyone did, and everyone went out to the public and did exactly what he did. So there's an opinion that they went to Rishuta Rabbim, because it says Rabbim. They went out and they all started to mourn in public. They all started to freak out. They're like, if he's freaking out, we're freaking out too. Why? We don't even know. There's something bad's about to happen if Mordechai's doing it. So they all went out as well. So Esther is secluded, and she is held in the palace. She's not aware of what's going on. V'tavon narot Esther, all of the young women of Esther, the Saraser and her maidservants and manservants, tell her, Vatischalchal. Vatischalchal. Unusual word. What? Vatischalchal. This is the word in verse 4. So difference of opinion. Some say, first of all, what does she know? She knew that Mordechai was out there and he was mourning. And obviously it wasn't a personal tragedy because he would have done it in his own home. It was in public. So what? She realized something really bad has happened. One opinion was that she miscarried. She was actually pregnant with Achashverosh's child. She knew something really bad had been decreed against the entire Jewish people from hearing that Mordechai was out there. And she had a miscarriage. And actually she only got pregnant once again through Achashverosh. And from that child, he nafla. She lost a baby, right? Once again, and through that she had Darius, who ended up living after that. But this was the first time, and she miscarried. Chal means a halal is an empty space, an empty space. But that means that she was pregnant and she lost her child and she miscarried at that child. Some say that her system opened up and she realized something really bad had happened. Her stomach turned inside out.
I'm not following. Right. She miscarried from what?
A baby.
No, I know, but she miscarried after she heard the news.
So that Mordechai was out there in public repenting. Yeah, she heard the news, and one opinion was that she miscarried. Because of the news? Because of the news. Because of the news, right? When you get bad news. That's the question. So it's an unusual word, but tischalchal is a very unusual word. So you see the word halal. What do we say when we go to the bathroom? Chalalim, chalalim, nekavim, nekavim. A halal is an inner orifice, and a nekev is an outer orifice, as we see in the bracha of Asher Yotzar.
Wait,
right?
halal isn't an empty space?
It is. Nekavim, nekavim, chalalim, chalalim. It's an empty orifice, internal. The internal empty orifices or openings are called chalalim, right? So what are nekavim? Nekavim is an outer open orifice. So we make the bracha, nekavim, nekavim, chalalim, chalalim. When you say Asher Yotzar, you're referring to outer orifices that Hashem allows to work well, and inner orifices. So halal is an inner open space, which means once she, according to this opinion of the Gemara, once she heard what had happened, that Mordechai was out there publicly freaking out, she had a miscarriage. And some say she just her system, her bowels just opened up and that's the other opinion of the Gemara. Okay?
Wait, so the news she heard was that Mordechai
was publicly mourning. She doesn't know what had happened. She does not know what's happened. She knew something really bad had happened. Okay?
I'm a little bit like, I don't really like that whole thing, because it's like if he was out there freaking out, how would he even know she's pregnant?
No, he didn't know.
So then
he didn't know.
If that caused her miscarriage,
when she found out, it caused her miscarriage.
Right. So then what happened? If that, then it's not then that's because the whole thing was why was he out there mourning? How would he? He was
talking to Hashem, trying to get people to realize something bad. A bad decree is about to be given to Jewish people.
Esther saw it, and it made her have a miscarriage.
Yes,
not that,
it really turned her inside out.
Know why he's doing it.
She doesn't know exactly why. She knew something really bad has happened. She doesn't know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So they knew that this decree was against the Jews, right?
No. They knew a decree had happened, right? They knew because it had been sent out. They didn't know it was against the Jews yet. It wasn't so clear. They just said it was the first decree. A second decree was going to say it was like a preemptive warning. The decree's been made. At this time, some big decision, and he figured it out. How? One of two ways: dream, or he actually figured out that it was Haman. He knew he didn't bow down to him. He must be upset, and he figured it out. Those are the two opinions.
Wait, Rabbi.
Yes.
So Esther had another son after that.
Later, yes, she had a
and
child.
his name was
Darius. We'll come to him,
King?
Darius.
like the king
He
of
became the
Iran.
leader, and he's going to allow the Jewish people to go back and rebuild the temple.
The one from Iran.
Yeah, Darius, yeah. The Jewish.
I
Esther's
know.
son was a Jew. Okay. So what does she say? She sends him out clothing. There it is. She sends him clothing and says, get inside! Take the clothing! Right? I don't know what she sent him. She had some clothing in his size. Maybe it's Achashverosh's wardrobe. She sends him clothing and says, come inside and tell me what happened. What do you think he does? He's going to say no. No, because you want to fix this your way. I'm going to tell you how to fix this. And number one is, we have to pray to Hashem. So he even makes a point to her. Lasir sakom yalav v'lo kibel. He would not accept, and he wanted to carry on praying. And he's outside the gate of the king. He's outside the White House, right? Or the Houses of Parliament. And he's got his sakom, and he's the leader of the Jewish people. And he's screaming and crying and making a whole to-do for everyone to see. And she says, come inside. He's like, no, I'm not coming inside. But tikra Esther lahasach. So she's like, okay, fine. You won't come inside? I'm going to have to find another way to find out what the heck is going on. So she employs someone called Hasach. Can you see his name inside the Megillah? Who is Hasach? It is a code name for somebody. It is a code name. And why this code name was chosen, we are going to see. Can you see the name? It's in verse 5. Hasach, or Hatach. Hasach has been now employed to act as the go-between between Esther and Mordechai. So according to our tradition, it was Daniel the prophet. Daniel, he of the lion's den, who also had been put into exile. Why is he called Hasach? Why is he not called Daniel? Because he's also hidden. Meaning, we are knowing that this wasn't like Esther sending off the prophet Daniel. She used subterfuge to employ him to find out. But why is this code name chosen? Why is that his code name? Why is that, I don't know, every president, every famous has a code name for their security detail? Two opinions. One opinion means Hasach, it makes a cutting, Chatach. He was a leader of the Jews, which he was before, who made decisions.
Wait,
He
who is
made decisions. This is Daniel. Why is Daniel a prophet who's being used by Esther to speak to Mordechai being called Hasach? Why is that code name chose? Because he was Chatach. He was like a posek, same word. Pasach is the cut, right? He made decisions for the Jewish people. He was a very important person and had been an advisor before to Nebuchadnezzar. He was used, okay? But another opinion was, Chatach means cut in half. He wasn't as powerful as he was. Wasn't as powerful as he was, but he was still a great person who had great power beforehand. But it wasn't as great as he used to be. He wasn't as great as he used to be. Unfortunately, he was Chatach, cut in half. One is he used to be a leader who made decisions. Chatach made decisions, right? He cut decisions for the Jewish people, but now he was cut in half. He wasn't as important. Yeah.
Why couldn't Esther talk to Mordecai and everything?
She's inside the palace, and then everyone know that something's going on over here. She's inside, he's outside.
So how did she tell him in the first place?
She goes out and she uses an intermediary. She calls this guy Hasach, or finds him, right? And says, go and speak to, he's going to send him a few times, go speak to Mordechai and find out what is going on. Now look how she says it. V'tzaveu al Mordechai ledas, mazeh v'al mazeh. She's like, what is going on? Ma zeh v'al ma zeh. What is going on? Why has this happened? Maza v'al maza. What a strange way to ask. Just find Makoreh. Alright? You've been living in Israel, you know how to talk like an Israeli. Makara! What do you think? Maza? What is this? V'al maza. When you read this, you're like, oh, it's biblical talk. Maza v'al maza. Actually, it is. So she was making another reference. Maza v'al maza is reminiscent to a verse in the Bible. Gil, if you know this one, I'll be impressed. Do you know? Good. Maza v'al maza is related to a verse in the Torah, which is mizeh u'mizeh. You see, it sounds similar? Mizeh u'mizeh. Mizeh u'mizeh, I'll give you a little hint. Heim ketuvim. They were written. What was written? Mizeh u'mizeh. Mazeh al mazeh sounds like mizeh u'mizeh. So she's asking mazeh mazeh, what's going on, what's going on? But it's a strange way to say it. So you know what, look at the Torah, and we know that anyone know what's described? What was ketuvim, what was katuv? The Aseret Dibrot. They were written on this side and that side. Remember, the Aseret Dibrot, the Ten Commandments, were written on both sides. You could read the Aseret Dibrot on both sides of the block. It's a reference to the Torah. Meaning, what's going on, and which part of the Mizeh or Mizeh are we messing up that this decree has come upon us? Whatever the decree is. So she's like, Mizeh or Mizeh. Right? Obviously, we've failed in the Torah. Obviously, it's because of the Torah that we have failed. What part of the Torah have we failed that now we have got to Mazal Mazeh, which comes from Mizeh or Mizeh? You get that?
No.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's not pushing it. It's like,
I'll say it again.
so like-
It's a code. There's a lot of coding going on. It's like in computers, there's coding. There's coding. You have a short amount of time for people. It's been written down. It has to be written down in a way. That's clear. She says to Mordechai via Daniel the prophet, Mazal Mazeh, why is this happening to us? Why is this happening to us? It's just a weird way of saying it. She could have just said, Lama ze koreh lanu. I don't know, modern Hebrew, what they've said, right? So this said Chazal, the Gemara says, you know what? This wording, as well as trying to find out what the decree was and why it's happening, is reminiscent of wording we see in the Torah, which describes the Ten Commandments, where it says, Mizeh u'mizehem ketuvim. The Torah describes the Ten Commandments in this way. So there's a similarity between these two. Mizeh, mizeh, mazeh, mazeh. Yeah? So what exactly is Esther saying? What part of the Torah, as identified by this expression, had they messed up on that we've led to this point that you need to go and start the Jewish people repenting? Please understand this is going to be in your midterm. Yes,
Didn't they already know that Sunday obviously was wrong?
Even Esther wasn't so clear. Even Esther wasn't so clear the reason.
She said, what did we do wrong? Why?
What do we, she can't figure it out. She's like, what have we done
Why,
to do it?
why does it have to be in code? I don't get it. Why can't you just say what did we do wrong?
She did, but when she wrote it down, you have to understand it came for a reason. So it's put into code. Megillah is code. It's a bunch of code.
I know.
It's all put with kitzur, and it's a code to try to find out.
So,
I'm finishing this chapter with it kills me.
so
Which it may do.
it relates to the Torah in the aspect that
She just wanted to know what sin of the Torah. Basically, all she's saying is, forget what sin of the Torah, known as Mizeh Mizeh, right? That's a code word for the Aseret Dibrot, which is all the Torah. Did we do in order to reach this point where what's going on over here? She's connecting the events to the Torah and the transgression of the Torah. Are we clear now? Hey Chevy, you with me, sister? No? Thank you for telling me. Good, I'm pleased. Because if you don't know, at least 10 people more than you don't know as well. This is you try to give it over to me.
Okay. So these words relate to the words, Chazal said, relate to the words in the Torah that discuss the Ten Commandments, which has us think about like what in the Ten Commandments is it that we're clearly violating or doing wrong that we need to be repenting for?
Yes, that's basically it. That's all it
And
is.
that's her question.
That's our question. The first question is, basically, this is what they're saying. What's going on? What did the Jews do wrong by transgressing the Torah that allowed this to happen? That's it. We're moving on. That's simple as that. So what exactly does he do? He goes to Mordechai El Rechov Ha'ir. He goes into the streets. Why? Because he's got to be very subtle. I'll just leave the palace now as a messenger, and I'll just walk through the streets, and oh, here's that guy Mordechai. I love the conversation. They're acting there. This is like spy agency 101. Right? He's being very careful not to give it away. Verse 6 and now 7. V'yaged lo Mordechai et kol asher karahu. Here we go again. Here's another code. Right? So she's like, what did we do wrong? And he tells her, Mashe karahu. Another code word. And this is a very important one. Mordechai says, Mashu kara. Mashu kara. Something's happened. Does anyone know what this is a code word for? Megillah is code words.
We just this one word.
Karahu.
Karahu. He says everything that happened. What it literally means is everything that's happened. Okay?
Kara means everything.
No, kara means makara. Something happened. But it's also a code word. Remember, there's a hidden meaning. Everything's nistar, everything's hidden. This is another code word. Some nation is referred to as the Kara people. As the Kara people. So he's telling her what happened, but he's also coding something else. Who are the Kara people? Meaning, who are the people who are by chance? Kara means zakah. Nachon? Zakah, mashu kara, something happened. Who are those people?
Yeah.
No.
The Greeks.
No. No. Let's go through every nation that's not heard us. We're going to be here a long time. Romans, the French, right? The British. I don't know. Okay. So you should know. It's obviously relates to Haman because it decrees from him. And Haman comes from Amalek. Okay. Some said everything. Right? Some said people in New Jersey. I don't know. There's like 50 people in this class. What do you say? Sorry. It's Amalek. Amalek is called the Kara. Where do we see that? Asher Karacha Baderech. When they came upon you in the desert. Now we're going to revisit that. The Kara, the people who see everything by chance. They don't see God in the picture. And they came upon the Jewish people. So Kara is a code word for Amalek. We're going to do a little bit more of that later on, right? When we get past Megillah. But Kara, take it for now, is a word that is used in the Torah to describe Amalek. Amalek. So he's like this. We're dealing with Amalek stuff, right? This is not just like some guy who wants to hurt us. We're like in big trouble.
From what passage?
We are in verse 6 on chapter 3. Sorry, verse 7. Sorry. Right? Right? We're dealing with the Kara people. Right? Those, when Amalek came to attack the Jewish people after leaving Egypt, it says, Asher Karcha Baderech. Now, when we discuss Amalek in more detail and what they're all about, we're going to get to more detail about who they are later on. But they are the Kara people. Why does it happen? It just happened. Forget God. It just happened. They're the coincidence people. That's who they are. So they're called the people who are Kara. They just happened upon us in the Midbar. No, they didn't. They came to attack us deliberately. They're Pasha Kesef, and he says, by the way, they're willing to pay money, and money is not going to help us over here. We can't buy our way out of this. Sometimes Jews want to buy their ways out of trouble. It's not going to work. Achashverosh and Haman don't need the money. So he's hinting. So he says Haman's the root of this. He's from Amalek. He's an Agagi. He already tried to pay money. The money's not going to work. Achashverosh said no to his money. That means Achashverosh doesn't need it, and he doesn't need it. We're going to find some other way to get this done. Right? Love done, which is going to there to wipe us out. Okay? And he says, and it's gone out, and a letter has gone out already to wipe out all the Jewish people. Okay? So he says, look very carefully. So he says, we're jumping now a little bit if you don't mind. I need you to We are now in number 8, towards it's a long pasuk. He says, it's gone out the cord, the decrees has gone out for the destruction of the Jewish people. Okay? Go to the king. So here's plan B. In addition to plan A. And we know plan A is still happening because he's still in sackcloth and ashes outside the palace. So plan B is, in addition to plan A, so it's plan A part 2, the sequel. Sequels are never as good as the original, except Gremlins 2. That was better. But besides that, not really. Maybe Jaws 2. Okay, let's go in. And now it's time to tell Achashverosh al-Amma. Look at the last word on verse Chet. Verse 8. Tell him you are a Jew. The time has come. We're years later. She's been hidden. No one knows where she's from. And Mordechai's like, quickly, run in and tell Achashverosh you're Jewish and save the people. And she says, are you out of your mind? What, like that? Just run in? No message? No WhatsApp? No text, first of all? I don't send flowers or chocolates? I just walk in and tell him? That is a suicide mission. How do we know it's a suicide mission? Because he goes and tells her, Vatome Esther, she's like, you go tell Mordechai, I ain't going in. Why? Because everyone knows, verse 11, everyone who works for the king knows the following law that exists. By the way, it's an extreme law. But there's a law that exists that says, what? You're not allowed to go in, kol ish v'isha, asher yavo lamelech, whoever goes in, elachatza, to the inner chamber of Pnimiyat, where the king is, asher lo yikareh achad dato la'amir, and has been invited over there, and he doesn't stretch out his scepter, and just walks in without 30-day warning, zeh shloshim yom, you get killed. You need 30-day prior permission to go in and see the king. Imagine that. And she's his wife. You're not allowed to go in and see the king without 30 days warning. By the way, why would such a law exist? It's not when you really like, oh, everyone did it. They probably didn't. You need 30-day warning to go and see the king? Why does this exist? Background checks. We know there's assassination attempt against Achashverosh. Achashverosh is a paranoid, psychotic dictator, right? So you want to go see the president, just walk in and see the president. You've got the FBI, the CIA, checking it out, making sure you're normal, you're not a Meshuggah, criminal record to this day, right? You've got to send a list, you've got to be on the list. You try to get in without it, boop, you get killed. By the way, you should know, I tried this with my wife. I said, honey, you want to go see me about something? Take a ticket, I'll see you in 30 days. And you should know that the doctor said my leg's going to heal very quickly, very soon. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, that was the decree, and she's like, I can't go in, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get killed. By the way, what's the rush? It's been years and years and years, and suddenly, he's freaking out. Run, now, get down right now. For years she wasn't telling him. What's the rush?
We're gonna
The
find
rush
out
is
soon.
because there's
What?
only a year. So, and
We got a year. Wait 30 days. What's another month going to do? Another month, I'll walk in and everything's going to be okay. I'll just walk in and tell him and see what happens.
But by then everyone's gonna get the news, huh?
So there's different opinions what the exact rush particularly was. One opinion is that sometimes the door opens and you got to grab it. The door opens and you have to get in there and get it. And that's why the rush? Let's write this down because we're going to look at a few answers. Why the rush? Why the rush? Because he's like rushing and putting her life in danger. One is, this is the time. And he knew it. He knew this is the time of mercy. We've been praying for it. Let's go for it. 2, it's Nisan, isn't it? What's the month of Nisan? A good month or bad month? Good month. I'm to the Jewish people in Nisan. So he was going to channel the power of the mazalot. of the astrological signs. I think last class I called it astronomical. It's astrological signs. He wants to tap into the power, the freeing power of Nisan. Right? And he thought maybe as time passes, people wouldn't pray anymore. They'd kind of give up, and people would give up. So you want to strike while the iron is hot. As time passes, it's like everyone's freaking out right now. Let's get that, and let's use the freak out to go and pray. Yes, Mikol.
What happened to Nisan?
The Jewish people were taken out of Mitzrayim. That's Pesach, right? So he knew this is a good month, right? We're trying to figure out the months over here, and it was Nisan. So he says, this is Mordechai telling Esther, run, hurry up. Hurry up. She says, no, this is not the time. I'm scared. I haven't been summoned in the past 30 days. So he now, write this down. Mordechai is going to do something unbelievable. He's going to give her three reasons. Mordechai is going to give her, it's written down. 3 reasons. This is my favorite part of the Megillah and life. 3 reasons for Esther to go in now, within the 30 days. He's going to give her 3 reasons, and by the way, these are incredible leadership lessons as well. Yes.
Who was telling who to
Mordechai tells Esther, now go in. She's like, I can't go in because I've been invited in 30 days. So he's going to have to persuade her with 3 reasons why she has to go in now, within the 30 days. Risk your life, get in there, and tell him who you are. By the way, these 3 reasons are not going to reveal the plan. There's actually a plan that you are not aware of right now that he has. And it isn't just to tell the king. He has a plan that he's putting into action, which begins with her walking in now. Yes, Erica?
Why couldn't she just tell him that she was a Jew and
She is. She's going to tell him he's a Jew.
But why does it have to be in front of every person?
Not in front of every person. She's going to Achashverosh.
So she didn't see him at all.
No, 30 days. I know. Sounds crazy, right? Sounds good. Yes.
Mordechai found out from being in Shushan Bira, right?
Mordechai has found out. She is not. He's involved in the political capital. She's part of royalty, and he's involved in the, or he received it from Eliyahu Navi. Okay, let's go through. I've got to finish you 3 things. What are these 3 things that he is going to tell her to try to persuade her to go in and risk her life? Now remember, this is not the plan. This is the opening gambit. The opening gambit to get Achashverosh aware that something is up. So she's not going to walk. She's going to walk in. She's going to do it eventually. I don't want to ruin the story, right? But she's going to walk in, all right? But she doesn't just say, I'm Jewish, save the Jews. She does something very unusual. Watch this. Let's start with 3. So what are these 3 things? Number 1, let's look at the words themselves. V'yagiru l'Mordechai et divrei Esther, v'yomer Mordechai la'ashiv al Esther. He responds to her on verse 12 and says, Al tedabi b'nafshech. Don't think in your soul, limalet beit hamelech b'kol hayodim. Don't think. By the way, this is so wow. This is like so wow. Don't think you are going to escape because you are queen. He's really trying to persuade her to do this. Don't think, you think you're all like rich and famous and no one's going to know? That's going to protect you from the Persians, from the Egyptians, from the Babylonians, from the Nazis. Oh, you think I'm rich, I'm connected. Nothing's going to happen to me. Do you know who I am? I fought for them, I took care of them, I'm the queen. He goes, nah, don't think that you are going to be able to escape and just sit in your palace and ride this one out. He's really given it to her. Because at this point, maybe she's been in power for so long, she's forgotten her people. He's like, it's going to be found out. You're going to get killed as well. That's number 1. Number 2, ki im hacharesh tacharishi. Now, hacharesh means be silent. Whenever a word appears twice in order, it means very much so. Remember we said that? Remember that? Whenever you have a word mentioned twice, it's like very emphatic. If you really, really keep your mouth shut and don't go in and tell Achashverosh that you are Jewish, Be'et hazot, at this time, right now, Revach v'atzala yamod liyudim makam acher. Someone else will save the Jews. If you don't go, someone else is going to get it done. Mordechai is confident. Mordechai is confident that the Jewish people are going to be saved. We're going to be saved. And if you don't step up and do it, it's going to come from somewhere else.
What's the problem with that?
Another nation is going to come, another person is going to come, and you are going to miss out. Let's do number 3. The 8. Beit Avich Tavedu, right? It's going to come from somewhere else, and you're going to be forgotten. You'll be forgotten. You'll be nothing. Your whole family's name is going to be gone, and you're just going to be a footnote in history of just another Jew who did nothing to save her people. And your whole family and the name of your family is going to be nothing. Not Megillat Esther, it'll be Megillat Shoshana, Megillat Barbara, right? Megillat Fatima, I don't know. Right, we're going to find someone, Hashem will find, because Hashem promised the Avot and the Amot that we're going to be saved. So it's going to happen. But you and your name is going to be nothing. You're going to be a nothing in history. Everything you've gone through, all the suffering, all the damage, all the danger, it's going to be done. So number 3 is, this is the best one, Umi Odea. And who knows? Im le'ed kazot higat lamalgut. This is your mission. This is your moment. Your entire life, everything you've been through has come down to this one moment. Your entire life, my friends, can come down to one decision you have to make. This is your mission. This is your moment. That's exactly how he says it. Now's your chance. But it's so I'm going to get killed. By the way, the killing isn't just because she's going to Achashverosh. The plan that you're not aware of yet, but the plan that she has is a suicide mission as well. She's got 2 problems. Problem number 1, get him to even see him. And number 2, persuade him to save the Jewish people. This is just to get her inside the door. To get her in the right place at the right time. He's going to persuade her, number 1, to get in, and number 2, to do the mission. And the biggest one is, your entire life has come down to this moment. And by the way, we all have it, right? Think of one decision you make, and that decision takes your life on one trajectory, and had you made another decision, you would end up something completely different. Your whole life can come down to, it's a frightening thought. Your whole life comes down to one moment. Do I meet that person, which ends up leading to that? Do I do that thing? Do I say yes to that, say no to that? It's a terrifying thought. This is her one moment in her life. Her entire life is hinging on this one moment. Not just her physical life, but her spiritual life. All right? She's saving the Jewish people. But he's like, you know what? We're going to be saved. But are you going to step up and do this? Are you going to like, nah, I'll be safe here in my palace. Yeah, beseder. Don't worry. Hashem will fix us. Find someone else to give the tzedakah, to lead the organization, to run the family, take care of the problem. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Now comes something even better. She accepts the mission, and watch what happens. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Up to this point, who has been telling who what to do? Mordechai is telling Esther what to do. Suddenly, it turns around. She starts telling Mordechai what to do. She takes control. By the way, this is a real leader. He's given over the mission. He can't do anything. He's outside the palace. She's the one. He steps back, and she's like, I'm in charge now. Now you listen to me, Mordechai. I'm in charge. I'm going to tell you what to do. And he's like, no problem. You got the mission. You are the boss. And she says, Kenosat Kol Yodim. Gather together all the Jews. This is point number one. So she responds by taking control, and she becomes the power. She speaks to them and says, Kenos, gather together all the Jewish people. Need all the Jews gathered together for this. Is this a physical gathering? No, it's not. It's not a physical. I mean, maybe they were physically gathering. It's not. We need to be united. Because remember how Haman described us? Mufuzar umufurad. We're separate. We need unity in order to survive anti-Semitic hatred, destruction, attack. We need to be ba'achdut, ish echad, b'lev echad. We got to be together. Because if we're not together, we're in trouble. Because one thing God needs us to be when we're in trouble, the reason we got in trouble in the first place is there was a unity. We need to be achdut. We need to be together.
What does kanos mean?
It means to gather together. Right? From Bet Knesset, to gather. We're gathered together. Bring us together. Kanos, that's the first word on verse. That's her first thing. When she takes control, she's like, okay, gather on together. Et kol Yehudim nimtza b'Shushan. V'tzumu alai. Fast for me. Only the Jews in Shushan. Only the Jews in Shushan, because the others are too far away. We ain't got no time. But we need some Jews. So where are we? Shushan Abira. Alright, you're in Shushan. Get everyone to fast. But only the Jews in Shushan, because I ain't got time to schlep out to Kush and Hodu. Right? It's too far. So I say more than 30 days. I got to go right now. Fast. How long for? 3 days. Wow. 3-day fast. When do we fast? On days you have to do teshuvah. Right? So everyone knew teshuvah time. Right? Sumu alai v'yal tochlu v'yal tishtu shloshet yomim. Laila v'yom. Night and day. Okay? I need you to fast for me. I need achdut. And by the way, fasting obviously means pray for me as well. You've got to pray for me, and I'll even have my maidservants pray for me. Because I'm going to walk into Achashverosh, and he could turn around and be like, you're dead! And then Hashem will find someone else to save us. So I need the people behind me. I need even her maidservants fasted for her. Everyone's going to have to pray and do teshuvah for 3 days. Imagine that. What do you like after a 25-hour Yom Kippur fast? This is a exactly, don't think about it, 3-day fast. And then she says, and if I walk in and he kills me, and these are such poetic and heartbreaking words, and once again, there's 2 of them. Avadati, avadati. And if I am lost, I'm lost. If I die, I die. I did my best. I prayed. I fasted. And she's going to fast as well. She's going to fast so much, they're going to have to literally carry her in. Carry her in to see Achashverosh. She can barely stand. What we're going to see, one opinion is that the angels came and had to literally bring her in. She couldn't even walk. She was so weak from fasting. And she says, if I die, I die. If avadati, avadati. Why the 2 avadati? Just say, if I die, that's the end of it. I've already died spiritually by having to marry Achashverosh and succumb to his desires. Right? I died spiritually already. So I'll die physically. What's the physical? I'm already dead spiritually. I'm already a broken woman in this position. People think, oh, she's rich and famous. Not so enjoyable. She did not enjoy being there. She still felt part of her people. Mordechai's words went straight to her heart. Imavadati, avadati, mentioned twice. Spiritually I'm dead. The physical is what it's going to be. V'yavor Mordechai. Mordechai says, you got it, boss. I'm going to do it, and they fast. What is v'yavor? What is v'yavor? The last verse in chapter 4, verse 17, v'yavor. What does that sound like? Avar is, what's that? It's an but why pass? Just say, Avar means Aveira. They did an Aveira. What was the Aveira? They fast. When did they fast? On Pesach. There was no Pesach that year. No matzah, no maror, no charoset. Gone. They fasted over Pesach. That's how big this was. The 3 days they were describing, they wanted it to be at a time when a good time for the Jewish people, but fasting is fasting. Pesach in that year, for all the Jews, at least in Shushan, cancelled. There's no Pesach Seder.
They couldn't just wait 2 days.
Couldn't wait.
Why not?
Now's the time.
No,
Et hazot.
No, it had to be 30 days.
Within 30 days. But right now, and this is what, because the right now is within 30 days, but it's also the beginning of 30 days, which happens to be Pesach. Pesach cancelled.
Why didn't they wait?
Imagine that.
So why didn't they wait?
They can't wait. This is it. We're in a rush.
Even to do
We've got to rush. Yeah, I know. This is the time. This will get. We've got to do teshuvah. Jews of Shushan. Let's go. Yeah, wait a few days. To all the Jews. You know what? I'll be there next week. No, this is the time. I know.
So how that doesn't make sense?
And they still did it. And they still did it. The Avor Mordechai v'Yaskol Shesiva Le Esther. He's following her command. He listens to her and he accepts it. Yeah.
You said that
But they did an Aveira, right? I mean, but it's not an Aveira. They transgressed something. They did the right thing, by the way. They did the right thing. And by the way, we know they did the right thing because, well, first of all, it worked. It worked. She wasn't killed for doing this. And number two, we actually reenact this fast, don't we?
Yeah, but it's not Pesach.
Tanit Esther. But we do it Tanit Esther, the day before Purim. Right? It wasn't, we don't have to break Pesach forever. Well, that's the end of that. No more Pesach. I'm sorry, Shushan Jews, but you've lost the holiday now. This was it's called the Shas Dachak, right? It's a Ral Shah. That means it's a decree for that time in that way. Mordechai had the power to do it, and it's extraordinary. By the way, they even once cancelled Yom Kippur. When they built the Beit HaMikdash, Shlomo Melech says, we've got to make a feast, celebrate to build the Beit HaMikdash. They even cancelled Yom Kippur for a good reason. So there is a precedent to this. There is precedent to this idea. Okay, great. Finish chapter. Let's go to the next chapter. Let's go. Vayihi Bayom Hashlishi. It was the third day. Sound familiar, right? Third year. Now we've got the third day. What's the third day of what? The fast. So the third day of the fast, when everyone's on teshuvah, and Shushan is freaking out, and they all fasting, and they wear sackcloth and ashes, and everything there. But Tilbash Esther Malchut. The Tilbash Esther Malchut. There it is again. Clothing. Now she gets dressed up. Mordechai's dressed up. Achashverosh getting dressed up. Now she gets my turn to get dressed up. And how does Esther get dressed up? What does she put on? Malchut. What's Malchut? What's Malchut? She puts on royal garments. This is what she puts on. She gets dressed up to the matter. She's not walking in sackcloth and ashes. She wears Tilbash Malchut. She puts on royal garments. That's one opinion. Another opinion is that she was now adorned, says the Gemara, with a prophetic spirit. She reached a level of greatness, and the Malchut is not the clothing of Malchut, but it's now the clothing of Hashem's majesty. The clothing of Hashem's majesty. So one is royal clothing, which she did as well. But the other one is prophetic royal majesty, which is Nevuah, one of the prophetesses of the Jewish people. And she was like at the apex of spiritual greatness. She's fasted, she's prayed, position of power, she's risking her life, right? She's doing real Mesirat Nefesh to go in and save the Jewish people, of which they're not even aware. By the way, most of the Jews around the world, they know what's going on? There could be people saving our lives right now without even realizing. Physically and spiritually. We've got to think and pray for them too. I'll say 1 second. She walks inside. Nocha Beit HaMelech, V'Hamelech Yoshev al Kisei. He's sitting on his throne. She walks in, uninvited, right? And she has to be almost carried inside. The Tamad B'Chatzer. She is now Amod being made stand up. Someone's helping us stand up. He's sitting there. Vayehi. Karot HaMelech et Esther Malka Omed B'Chatzer. When he sees that she's standing there with her royal beauty and her royal clothing, thank goodness, she brings great pain into his eyes, and he stretches out his Sharvit HaZahav, his golden scepter, Asher B'Yodo, Vatikrov Esther. She gets close, the Tigash Rosh HaSharvit touches the top of the scepter, and that was the royal sign, you've been accepted. All right, so part A, or plan A, or plan B actually at this point, just get inside the palace to speak to him, done. What's the plan? Now what? Now what? Look at this. Here's the plan. It's encoded inside, but she has an insane plan. And when I show it to you, it's going to look pretty subtle. You'll be like, wow. Walking in to see him, that was the easy part. This is the hard part. You know what it is, Sandy? You know what her plan is? Nope. Not get drunk? Put your hand down, Gila. What's her plan? What's her plan? So her plan is seemingly to, invite him to a party. Oh, that's a, and get him drunk. And then what? That was the mechanism to get to a party, but that's not the plan. That is the system to get the plan going. Put your hand down. Vayovel HaMelech, Malach Esther Malka. What's going on, baby? What can I do for you, honey? Uma b'shateich. And what is your request? Ad chatzi ha'malchut bitan lach. I'll give you half my kingdom. Really? That's it? Zu, right? The Lord, that's it? I'll give you half my kingdom. Oh, I love you, my dear. I'll give you half my bank account. Everyone knows that any Jewish wife has the full bank account. So what exactly is half bank account? What's the other half that he's not giving her, Rachel? Beit HaMikdash stuff is correct. Yeah? He's I'll give you everything I own, but I can't give you Yerushalayim.
Why? But he doesn't.
He does not know. And that shows how much he did not want the Jews to go back. Maybe I'll give it to her, and maybe in a year's time, 5 years' time, she'll be like, Jews. So it's hinted at because he's going to do it. He's going to allow it to happen. So they couldn't put it explicitly, because then they'd be like, I'm going to give it to you. So they said, Al Chatzi Al Malchut, I'll give you everything except Yerushalayim. So Mordechai and Esther, they encode it so that when he reads the Megillah at the end, because they'll be like, oh, that's right. I didn't give that to you. You can't go back. So they encode it and be like, by the way, they encode it.
Why is that important? Why is that important that he saw that he didn't give?
He didn't want, it could potentially be bad at the end of the Megillah, when they write the Megillah and hand him a copy to read, he's like, had it been written explicitly, oh, that's right. I said no to you having Yerushalayim. You can't go back. And he's going to allow them to go back. So at this point, it's written in code of, I'll give you everything except Yerushalayim.
So it's not to remind him.
He brought up a lot of things. This is one of the things. I'm not giving you Yerushalayim. He did bring it up because he didn't want anyone to go back to Yerushalayim. Have the Jews rebuild Yerushalayim?
She didn't ask him to for a land or a tree.
Just in case he is preemptive. Thank you, said that. Thank you. Preemptive. But here comes the code. Look at this. Everyone look inside now. We're on verse 4. Because in verse 4 is the plan. And none of you are going to see it. Vatomer Esther im hamelech tov yavo hamelech v'Haman. Let the king and Haman come hayom today. By the way, look at the first letter. Yavo, Yud, Hamelech, Hey, Vahaman, Vav, Hayom, Hey. He puts in Hashem's name. She's encoding God. Right? She's like, God, help me over here. Because this is insane. She's invoking the name of God's mercy. Yud with the Hey, with the Vav with the Hey.
Wait, where is that?
It says, Yavo, Hamelech, Vahaman, Hayom. Yud, Hey, Vav, and a Hey. She's like, God have mercy upon us. Because what I'm about to say at the end of this verse is not so. El Hamishte, come to the feast, Asher Asiti Lo, that I made for Beatrice, that I made for Lo. What's Lo? Him. What do you mean him? That I made for Lacha. For you, Nachon? I made you a feast. What's Lo? What's Lo? Haman. Haman. What? Come to a feast that I made for him. What's going on over here? This is the plan. Go on.
She's trying to like feed into his paranoia, thinking that people are gonna go against him. So she wants to like make him jealous, thinking that she's gonna go with Haman and like they're gonna plan against him. So he wants to like drive a wedge between
It's
him.
even more than that. It's even more than that. You're right. She is doing a couple of things, which when I explain to you are crazy. Number one, me and Haman. Why is she inviting Haman anyway? She's more than just inviting him. She's insinuating to Achashverosh that me and Haman, not only am I giving him power, but me and Haman are in a relationship and we're going to take over your kingdom. Why is that insane? Because when he finds out, which he's going to, he would kill Haman and he would kill her. And then he'll kill all the Jewish people anyway. The plan was to plant a seed. It's a seed. I'm inviting Achashverosh and Haman. Ashasta lo, him. Means this is really Haman's party. Me and him are together. We're inviting you, Achashverosh, to our party. Because me and Haman, we're together. She's insinuating subtly and putting a seed into his head that Haman is now being invited. He has power, and me and Haman are actually in a relationship and planning this whole thing against you. Maybe the relationship is political, but maybe there's more. She's planting intrigue into his head and starting to put seeds of doubt into Achashverosh about Haman's loyalty. Loyalty. You think you like Haman? I'm inviting you to the party. And you know what? You can come, Achashverosh. We're taking control. It's not explicit. But she's basically saying to Achashverosh, me and Haman are now having an affair. Not saying explicitly, but she's hinting at it. And we're going to take over your kingdom. Who's better to take over the kingdom than number 2, the vice president? It's not explicit, but now there's like a 10-15% part of Achashverosh's brain that is Esther and Haman are in cahoots to overtake me. And maybe they're having a sexual relationship as well. It's all hinted at. Asha Asalo. Scary plan? Pretty nutso. 1 second. Vayom HaMelech maru et Haman lasot et Esther. Quick! Bring me Haman. By the way, there's a rush to keep Haman uneasy. Remember this whole, they're also in a rush because they want to keep Haman uneasy. And he's being rushed around. He hasn't got time to change plans, send out decrees, try to defend himself. He's going to be jostled and rushed around. And they bring him to the feast that Esther has prepared. And now a seed of doubt is in Achashverosh's brain against Haman. That is the plan. And we'll see how it concludes next class.
Thank you.